last team that we have to talk about today is the team that Jacob is not so convinced will be able to go back-to-back, but they are the defending champions, so we do have to talk about them. The Boston Celtics, Jacob. You're so excited to get it out. What do you got for us?
Well, my pick for the champion going into the season was OKC. That was before Boston's pretty brutal stretch to start the year of 2025. They've been towards the bottom of the league in three-point efficiency. Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday have both had pretty significant regressions. And I also just think their big man rotation is concerning. Porzingis has not been nearly as good when he has played this year. Al Horford's old as shit. I think they won their title through playing pretty easy competition, all things considered, and they're not going to have nearly as clean of a path this time around. So just all of that coming together on top of the fact that no one's repeated since 2018, I don't think the Celtics are going to win the championship this year.
Earlier, you went as far as to say that you find them to be pretty beatable.
Yeah. I mean, I thought they were beatable when they won. They just never really faced a team that could beat them.
Whoa.
Like, I'm not trying to, there was not I don't know if they faced, a really strong contender at all in that championship run. What's so funny?
It's just a funny way to frame it. That they were beatable, they just didn't play any teams that could beat them. It makes complete sense what you're saying. It's just a very, very funny way to phrase it. So Rudy's got it pulled up. Last year they ran through the Heat. They ran through the Cavs. The Pacers series, it was a sweep, but wasn't it game?
All the games were close.
One? Yeah, they were all close.
Almost all the games were close.
The greatest sweep ever.
We got a double bang in that series. Who was it that hit a shot from the corner to kill the game? I think it was Jaylen Brown. I think it might have been Jaylen Brown. I swear it was in game one. Well, it couldn't have been game one.
I'm pretty sure they didn't face. I think the Mavericks won 50 games that year, but I don't think they've played a 50-win team until the finals. And the Mavericks that year, this same criticism. People think this is being a Celtics hater thing, but the same criticism could have been levied against the 2023 Denver Nuggets. And guess what? They didn't repeat when they played a tougher conference with more competition. And I think the same exact thing is going to happen to the Celtics this year. And the Dallas Mavericks, by the time they made the finals, Luka Doncic had 4 different injuries going into the series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We talked about trade deadline stuff with the Cavs. I guess technically we didn't with the Thunder other than saying Cam Johnson, so that kind of answered that itself. Jacob, was it you that I was texting the other day being like,
how
you think
gettable
Porzingis is gettable?
Porzingis.
Yeah. What about Porzingis?
Well, I said I just don't think they would do it this year, and I still stand by that. But I do think if they're going to be active in that conversation, in a conversation around a trade at all, it has to be a center. I don't think there is anything this team needs more than a center where you're like, if Al Horford can't really do it, if Porzingis can't do it, we can at least survive. Rudy, can you pull up his on-off numbers this year? Because they're not good.
I think the reason that if you're Boston, you would be motivated to get out of a relationship with this guy is because within the next 3 years, he's not going to be in the NBA anymore. His body's going to completely fall apart.
Yeah.
There's just no fucking way. But
How
go
many
ahead,
games does he
Alex.
play this year?
Jacob, 50? Not 50, 30-something.
Only 19. Just 19.
Yeah, that's what
games.
I said. Yeah, 19. I don't even know what I'm looking at with all this. So it's kind of like the LeBron effect where they're actually better when he's not in the game.
Yeah,
apparently
by a margin of 9.6 points.
By 9 points. Alex, wasn't it you that pointed this out?
Oh, yeah. I guess this year, the Lakers have been significantly better. I don't know if that still holds true, but
if it still holds.
Throughout
the
first 15 games, the Lakers were significantly better with LeBron off versus with him on. But, noisy numbers.
Porzingis has kind of looked out of place. Jaylen Brown is having his worst three-point shooting season, or at least his worst in a long time. Drew Holiday dropped from one of the best three-point shooters in the league to very mediocre. I believe his corner three-point percentage has just fucking fallen off of the face of the earth. if we're going to give them anything, though, I will say that they still won a championship with Jalen and Jason both shooting like 32% for the entire playoffs from three. So, like, the defense was first and foremost why they won before the three-point shooting, but with the foundation of their offense more so than any other team being based on that three-point shooting, seeing it fall off to the degree that it has, you can call it just a bad stretch of shooting, and it might very well be that, but to me, it's at least notable cause for concern.
They've done enough to get the benefit of the doubt where I'm like, where we say for the Cavs, we need to see it in the playoffs. For me to truly believe that the Boston Celtics are like not still a legitimate contender, still not the favorite, it's like I need to see it happen in the playoffs. It's like I won't really
They're definitely
believe
legit
it
contenders. Favorites, what I'm getting at.
No, yeah, I think that's, I understand your rationale. It's just I lean towards giving them the benefit of the doubt just because, they're the Celtics. It's like the Warriors where we had those years where like we never believed anyone was actually going to beat the Warriors until it happened. Obviously there were injuries, et cetera, et cetera. With the Celtics, it's like, yeah, they've got the credibility, they've got the reputation to where it's like, yeah, you could have bad stretches in the regular season. We're still going to look up in April and you're going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, are they the favorite? I'm willing to listen to arguments that they're not, but also when you look at the alternatives, you've got the Cavs who, the Cavs, we haven't seen them do it yet. The Thunder, we haven't seen them do it yet. Both of those are teams where it's a gamble regardless of who you're putting your chips on to be the favorite. So what it comes down to for me is like the team that I've seen do it all, that's who I would still probably view as the favorite, even if they're having a rough stretch, even if they don't look like the dominant force that we saw them be in the past. There is a championship hangover, as with all teams, and it just depends on how they navigate that. Also, you have the fact that teams don't really go back-to-back anymore working against them. So I see both sides of the argument. At the end of the day, they're still contenders. They're still probably going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, regardless of what their regular season looks like, regardless of what some of the struggles have looked like for them on an individual level with different pieces of their personnel. But they're the Celtics. They're going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals unless they run into Miami. That was a joke.
Well, there's also the piece of it where Jason Tatum and Derek White had long summers. They both went over to not Tokyo. Where the hell were the Olympics? Where did the Olympics just happen? France. It was in France. It's in France. They had long. I'm just wondering, like, what happens to like a Joe Mazzulla type character if he wins 2 championships? Because like, fuck the champagne. That guy's gonna be dumping SpaghettiOs on himself in the locker room, just like some weird shit. He's gonna do some weird shit. I don't know what it's gonna be.